The reinforcer was thoroughly tested in a variety of laboratory and field settings on concrete and masonry walls. Tests conducted by Engineered Composite Systems Incorporated proved that the reinforcer will not fail before the concrete or masonry wall fails. Field testing proved that 3 strips of the reinforcer could withstand up to 30,000 pounds of force on either concrete or masonry walls. In fact, the reinforcer held over 2.5 times the typical force exerted by soils and still remained intact. In independent laboratory tests, the reinforcer was applied to a series of 12-course masonry block walls. Incremental amounts of force were applied to the walls using a 30-ton ram and hydraulic pump. The strains in the wall were measured using foil strain gauges with a P3500 digital strain indicator and an SB10 switch and balance unit. The test walls received 2 reinforcer strips spaced 4 feet apart. At 14,000 pounds of force, the walls failed due to shear failure of the masonry block. However, the reinforcer and the epoxy bond remained intact. A second test proved again that the reinforcer withstood 14,000 pounds of force when the block failed due to shear. A third test determined the amount of force required to fail a non-reinforced block wall. At only 1,400 pounds of force, the wall continued to crack and bow and would have collapsed without reinforcement. The reinforcer was then installed on the same wall and force was applied. At 14,000 pounds, the wall collapsed. However, the reinforcer, as well as the epoxy bond between the reinforcer and block, remained intact. The test concluded that a wall with the reinforcer applied would resist 10 times the force of an unreinforced wall. A structural engineer from the firm of Lance Jones Nebraska Incorporated oversaw the testing. He confirmed that this new technology is successful in its design to prevent tensile failure. It can be used to reinforce existing masonry walls in place of steel I-beams or steel channels. Other laboratory tests concluded that the breaking point and tensile strength of the reinforcer is 8 to 10 times greater than steel. Call Nationwide Reinforcing toll-free at 1-877-33-FORCE to find out more about the reinforcer. That's 1-877-333-6723 for the reinforcer.